Hey everybody, it's the Knitting Professor. I'm in here with all four of our dogs. It's kind of the dog days of winter, if you will. So I thought I would share some updates on some works in progress because it's always exciting to see how, someone's work is sort of unfolding, especially in a project like this because this, I'm kind of winging it. So I looked at another sweater that I had made with this specific kind of yarn, which I shared a month or so ago in a video where I was going through all of my Lamb's Pride and picking out colors that would work in a Colorwork sweater. So this is their worsted weight, the number 4 size, using needle size that's an 8. And I've picked up, you can tell this is marked down. So there's literally a person from Sioux Falls who comes around to the various fiber festivals, and she sells sort of the seconds from the Brown Sheep Yarn Company, and she's got just huge garbage bags, almost leaf bags full of this, and I don't mind using it because if I see a flaw in the yarn, I just, cut it off and then I'll just restart it, just the same as if I was integrating a new color into the work. So I have a good supply of the Lamb's Pride, and you can sort of get an idea there of the colors that I'm using. So I've got this sort of denim with a hint of purple to it, and then I have a couple of skeins that I got from a yarn dealer in Elbert, Colorado that she overdyes herself, and orange and teal and yellow, and then I have kind of a dark teal that I'm also using. So my kind of strategy for this is inspired by a book that I bought, hey Benny, when I was in Trondheim. So this book I bought at a store called Husfliden, which is, if you're interested in Norwegian costume for their Norwegian national holiday in May, that Husfliden is where you would go. It's spelled Husfliden, but they also have a huge selection of yarn. I found this book and I was enchanted. So the sweater that's on the front cover is, I'm going to call it Inspiration. So let me see if I can find a couple more good pictures of it to give you an idea of what I'm looking at. Here's one in a different color scheme. I'll just hold that up there close so you can kind of see what's going on. We have some stripes interchanged with a sort of a heavier motif and a lighter motif. So here's, I'm just calling out the heavier motif and the lighter motif. So basically I'm allowing this organizational strategy to inspire me. I think this is probably knit in more of a DK weight yarn, so the patterns can just be a little bit more intricate, which is fine. Whereas the Brown Sheep is worsted weight. And so you can kind of see where I've sort of started. So these are like little lions that I have going on the first row of the color band, and I kind of picked out a sort of a border, and then we have the stripes. So the first stripe I did is a little more muted, but now I have an orange stripe here. And this motif that I've started on here is a bit more like the small flower that she has going. And I have 192 stitches, so I based that off of the previous sweater that I had knit with the same weight of yarn. And that, you can multiply that by 8, you can multiply it by 6, by 12. There are a lot of options. I think 16 might even work. Yeah, 16 would work. So I have to find motifs that will work with that number because I like to keep it, kind of even and regular. So I haven't quite graduated to the Leka Baga school of knitting where everything is more like randomized and informal and that kind of thing. I'm just, I don't know, it must be that professor's mind. I'm just a really orderly thinker. But here's a book where I'm getting a lot of my motifs from. I've shared this with you in previous videos. And the little lion, let me see, I don't know if I can find them because obviously, yeah, I did. Since I already knit them, I'm like, oh, I took the bookmark out, but I found it. So you can see the little lion there. I'll just try to get it into the camera. There we go. And she's got a little striped version, which I decided to go with. So the next, I'm going to I've decided I'm going to try to stick to the animal theme here because this is such an animal kind of house with all the pets. So I think I'm going to do these wiener dogs for one of the broader stripes. And what's fun about this book is I can also pull different ideas for borders. Let me see if I can come up with something just to show you. Like here's a border that kind of has a bit of a, I don't know, it looks like tabs, like the flooring that you put in, and it's got the tabs that insert into each other. Here's another idea I could use for a border. So I'm probably going to change it up as I go along just to keep things interesting. As much as anything to keep me from getting bored as I'm knitting. But also it sort of makes the sweater more fun. Here's another idea for a border if you look on the... This almost look like giraffes or something with the long neck. So I'm getting a lot of ideas from this book. And I also am probably going to mine this Mary Jane Mucklestone book 200 Fair Isle Motifs, a Knitter's Directory. One of the things that is very helpful in here is that she has a lot of Peeries. So this is traditional Fair Isle, not, just, ooh, go crazy colorwork, but Fair Isle. And here are some ideas for motifs. For example, I could probably adapt that. I might keep the little less heavy stripes a bit more interesting, but this would be an option down there. And I'm just going to decide as I go, because that's what makes it fun. That's what keeps it interesting. I'll finish a little section and I'll think, what should I try now, and have some fun with it like I've done with past sweaters. So I'm trying to, here's one. I should integrate this. I'm seeing one here with little interlinking hearts. That would be so cute. I might, maybe for the next thinner motif, I might use the hearts. Those are adorable. And as far as the yarn colors, so I don't have all of them here in my bag, but I can take I've got like 5 or 6 colors, and I can combine them any way you want. So this will always be the background color because I have 6 skeins of it, no problem. But I'm looking forward to trying different color combinations, and hopefully, again, I like order and I like balance, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to achieve a kind of a balance as I'm going through this sweater. But I'm already really excited I think it's going to be a nice addition to my sweater collection because I definitely don't have something that's in this sort of blue denim sort of color. In fact, I don't even have one that's navy. I have aqua and I have a turquoise, but I don't really have a blue sweater that I've hit. So heck, it's got orange in it. Go War Eagles. It reminds me of my alma mater from undergraduate days. But yeah, so I think it's really coming along well, and it's certainly fun to knit on. And I'd be curious how many of you are, this like sort of go with the flow mentality as you're doing colorwork knits. If you like to play around like I do with let's just try this motif, let's try that motif, it's key to me to sort of eradicate boredom. And on the other hand, I also need boring projects too, so I have like this balance. So this is the one that I go to when I just want to be a little more creative, a little more inventive, and then I'll go to like a sock or my log cabin blanket when I want to do something that is meditative. So the other project that I'm currently working on is another sweater. Winter is a good time to work on sweaters, right? Because it's going to get too hot in the summer to work on them. I try to save energy, so I try to keep the air conditioner on like 78, and I don't want to have wool in my lap and then sweat on it. So now is the time to get the sweaters worked on. So here's a pattern that I'm working on, and it's a bottom up project. So the body is done. I've even finished my short row shaping. Those of you who watch me in German, you've seen this. It's going to be familiar. And the stripes are just a lot of fun. This yarn is from, I'm pretty sure it's Norwegian yarn. And let me see if I can find a label. So it's called Frittids. I inherited this yarn from someone who sadly passed away, was an inveterate knitter. In fact, it's interesting because so I'm doing a practicum at the School for the Blind now, and they had a substitute teacher, and she saw me knitting because when I'm watching, I just keeping my hands busy, and she asked me if I knew the woman whose yarn this was. And I was like, oh, that's just crazy. It's like a deja vu moment where you didn't see any person, because I didn't know the woman who I got this yarn from. I got it from her daughter-in-law. But in any case, it's beautiful yarn. It's from Sandnes, and yes, to my knowledge, it is made in Norway. If I might be mistaken on that. I'm not seeing indication on here that's where it was made, but it is Sandnes, which to my knowledge is a Norwegian brand. So we have this. I've got several colors that are going to go together in the yoke that are sort of going to harmonize with this fun sort of confetti type color, which I'm going to show you here really quickly. It looks kind of confetti-ish in, the body. So again, we take this, but then trying not to let everything just fall all over the place on the husky here in the ground. Look at the sleeve. So this is going to be a really interesting looking sweater. I'm just, I'm going to keep going. I like both the body and the sleeve, but obviously they have a very distinctive look, and it'll be even more interesting to see how the yoke turns out, because that's going to play with the pooling effect as well when I start integrating the other colors, kind of like what you have down here, only it's going to be more intense because there is a lot more to the motifs that are in the yoke. So I'm really curious what the final product is going to look like. It's going to be interesting. So again, if you have experience with this kind of pooling where the sleeves and the body look different, I'd be curious, like, if you were happy with it, or if you frogged it, or what your experience was. I'm so in love with the yarn, and I just I really just wanted to put it to good use. It's so soft. I think it's going to be luxurious when I'm able to have it finished and enjoy wearing it. But yeah, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different. So I'm the type of person where I get this far into something, I usually just embrace the chaos, because, well, it's definitely not boring. So yeah, that's kind of an update on what I'm working on. I'd love to know about your projects that you're working on, and are you like me? Do you tend to knit sweaters in the winter and avoid that during the summer? I have not really spent a whole lot of time knitting, for example, lightweight garments or short sleeved. I tend to knit sweaters that will really help me get through the winter, because that's when I need them, versus in the summer when I'm just like throwing a t-shirt. I'm gonna go out and work in the garden. I'm probably not gonna wear a hand knit garment for that. Someone who works in an office or real estate or something like that, that would be different. But I don't teach in the summer, and so I certainly don't need to wear a fancy hand knit, cabled sweater or whatever during the summer months. So anyhow, just thought I'd give you an update, especially since I did that video a month ago where I was talking about putting together these 2 Colorwork projects. The other one I haven't started yet, so I'll probably just keep plugging away at these 2. And, who knows if I'll even get to the other one before summer hits. I don't know. Maybe we'll have a wacky, cool summer. Sometimes in South Dakota, the summer can be surprisingly cool. So we'll see. Certainly not expecting that. But in any case, I've got plenty to work on. I hope you have some wonderful projects to work on too. Let me know what you're up to, and appreciate your watching. And I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Take care. Bye.